All right, we are back. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It is Watercolor Wednesday, but it might not be. We might be changing it up. We'll see shortly. You're having a good week. We hope everybody out there is enjoying their week as well. Our stream ended like 5-6 minutes early the other night. We noticed it got cut out. Like, I'm not really sure why. OBS had an update. Might have been the cause, but ultimately you didn't miss much. It was actually literally 6 minutes, which was cool. So all you missed was me kind of saying bye, so you didn't miss much. But we did kind of do like probably another, gosh, I don't even know, a minute and a half of drawing before we realized. So that was where we ended up with our session for Gestural Mondays. We took this figure. This was it like 40-minute drawing maybe? It might have been like a 40-minute drawing or so, which is different and fun. And the rest are just sort of sketches. We have Coconut down here causing a ruckus. Love y'all. And today we're not totally sure what the game plan is yet. Watercolor Wednesday. We don't have anything sketched or drawn. We're kind of bouncing between ideas, is why we don't know what we're gonna do yet. I'm just checking everything's working here, and audio is good, looks good, sounds good, feels good. But yeah, so we might end up doing Iron Man. I just smacked my keyboard. Did anything happen? No. Okay. We might end up doing another Miles Morales piece. We might end up lining some figures. I'm not totally sure. I'm trying to think and see over here if I have anything in my drawer to do. I have my panel I can line, but I'd rather draw and then ink than just ink. I feel like that's sometimes not that entertaining, you know what I mean? So I guess we're just gonna kind of start sketching, I don't know, some characters here, I guess. Kind of see what happens. We have to open up over here. What am I looking for? Restream, boom. All right. Yeah, so we have like, we even have like some witch, like from Halloween stuff that we want to do, but that feels, I don't know. I want to make sure I can open this on this PC and have it all sort of, okay, cool. It all still works, perfect. All right, so we have to make sure we can see this here. And then, let's see, photos, reference, what do we have up? We have a fun little witch drawing. We have figure, Venom, Miles Morales. We have a pretty fun Miles Morales piece. Maybe we'll do on a 10 by 10 or 12 by 12. I feel like we just did Miles. I don't have, let's see. I'm constantly saving reference photos and pictures and ideas. The other one is kind of an Iron Man pose, Iron Man piece. I feel like that'd be kind of fun. The potential problem is I have to switch up the cam, I think, but we might just be able to zoom in. So this is all usually process done off stream. I was just doing work today and wasn't able to. I figure it out. How much do I have to zoom in here? So we can make that crop work pretty easily for sure. I think we're gonna go Iron Man here. I kind of want to do this Miles Morales piece too, but I'm not sure. I think Iron Man might be better because we've already done Miles. Baloo, what up, baby? What's good, brother? How are you today? How are you today? I'm doing great, man. Doing a great. Enjoying the day so far. Trying to figure out what to draw here. Trying to figure it out. Watercolor Wednesday, so I'm trying to think of what's gonna work with watercolor. But I usually have a few more things pieces planned out. I've just been doing so many other drawings and sessions that I don't really know. I could do anything, right? And it might be Miles Morales as I change up my mind. We haven't, you know what we haven't done is that size. I was wondering where the water block was. It's there. We've not done a 12 by 12 watercolor, I guess, since that piece, right? Meditating, that's exactly it, dude. Envisioning the final product. I actually am always envisioning the final product. That's a big part of that I always will do is I'll sit and sort of see what I want it to look like. And actually, you know what? We might just jump in with Miles here. Miles, Iron Man, or a witch. Miles. I wish I had a 3-sided coin. Stream is laggy, is it? On what are you on? Twitch? Looks okay over here. I'm hoping that's not on my end. Seeing if I have any figures that I can any portrait figures that I have ready for watercolor that I've saved. The problem is I have so many like references that I want to do, right? It's overwhelming. I'm always saving images that are inspiring or I don't know, just sort of click. Let's see through. Whoa, that is intense. Like a glass. Actually a cool idea, dude. Actually a really cool idea. I promise we'll start drawing within 3 minutes. We've done Spider-Gwen. I think it's gonna be Iron Man. That's what it's gonna come down to. I'm just constantly, literally, I'm scrolling through hundreds of images and references that I've wanted to do, want to do, still want to do, have done, and want to do again. I always am. One of the best things that I guess this is a good time to talk about, actually, is one of the hardest jobs as an artist is to stay inspired. And that's actually the job as an artist, is to stay inspired. And in order to do that, you know, you have to see other art, you have to watch things, you have to go experience things. You have to do a lot. So I'm always saving images, thoughts, pausing movies and screenshots. If it just speaks or clicks with me, I might use it, I might not. I might use a color palette of it. I might use the composition of it. You might use the type of lighting that's seen in the piece. But it's one of the best things you can do is to just keep a binder, a folder. I mean, it used to be a binder. Now it's obviously a folder in my phone. And just sort of save any of these images, any of these movie scenes or cartoon images, anything that like sort of really speaks to you, because you never know when you might use some part of it again. And that's a big part of where a lot of my ideas come from, is just randomly as I see this, I see that, I like this. You know, there's a lot of scenes in movies. I'm constantly pausing movies. It's super frustrating. But I'm constantly pausing movies, right? Because there's just such good composition in these movie scenes that we don't realize, and so much work goes into setting the scene that our brain just takes it in and goes, oh my gosh, it's gorgeous, and keeps going with the movie. But I'm constantly pausing. Alright, so that was probably like 3 minutes, so we have to start arting here. So let's just go with Iron Man. Right? Yep, I've gone too far now. Alright. It is decided. Just put that somewhere. We'll have to see how much we can zoom in. Right there. That's not gonna work. Alright, so we just have to crop the camera here. It's all part of the process, gang. Sorry about this. Let's see if we can even crop the camera. Or you know what? We're not. We're gonna change it up again. And we're gonna work on the size that we're set to work on. Sorry. There we go. Now we're making it easy on everyone here. I know, focus. You can focus. You can do it. Calm down. Okay. Shh. Alright, you're okay. Now we might just do a couple drawings. We'll see. Alright, so now we can work right here and yeah, get into it. So we're gonna be yeah, working on, you know, something that's what's kind of fun about these characters is I've never really sketched any of them, which is surprising, I know, but it's pretty fun to actually. Might not be able to see anything yet. I can go a little darker here. Hold on. Let me just get the basic thingies here. You know, the thingies and the stuff and the... All right. Can we see yet? No, not yet. Okay. What's too bright? Is it this? Probably. Better. Better or worse? That's all right. We can jump right in with this guy. How about that? Still can't see it too much. Really like sketching with that red pencil much more. I've ruined myself for sketching. Sketching in those colored pencils is really nice. The nicest part is it almost disappears into the paper much more as you work, so you can keep building on it. I feel like more than like just regular pencils. Might be too big. We're not gonna focus there yet. Just kind of sketching shapes in, right? It's always how it starts. Clearly on a Marvel kick. I don't know why. We haven't even watched him recently, which is interesting, but it's fun. And they're fun characters because when you don't do them, they really force you to change up what you're used to, right? Because it's not a person, even though it is. Everything's sort of usually altered and different, of course, right? We might have messed up the hand here, not left enough room. We'll see. It'll be a loose sketch, and then we'll just kind of block in some colors here today. We'll try to finish this if we can in the time, but we'll see. So I'm trying to just measure these distances and these angles here. That's kind of the whole process, like we talk about a lot. And it's all going to change. It's all going to move. And you just kind of keep pushing and pulling lines and shapes, right? That's it. And I know that pushing and pulling lines actually has a different meaning, sort of like literally pushing or pulling, which I guess I'm more talking pushing and pulling shapes. Let's do it that way, because we're actually talking like moving shapes around, right? So I should change that verbiage. Interesting part too is all of these have planes, right? Not like airplanes. Like three-dimensional planes. Which is tough, especially with Iron Man. So we'll see how many of these we can get in. Because he has these angles and then he has these curves, right? So again, another cool kind of example of really mixing organic shapes with inorganic shapes. Which we've talked about we like doing, so I can't really, shy away now. Damn. I want that foot to come down too low here. Something like that. That's all very, very loose here. Again, the hardest part is always going to be, well, not always, but the hardest part with him is going to be all these different angles and shapes of that are forming different planes, right? Because again, like here it goes in and then comes back out. Obviously, it's all just a machine, so that's where it kind of the layout comes from. I don't draw mechs ever. Apparently, oh my gosh, changed my. Kind of spooked me there. I have to get that head looking down with that angle, right? So these are curved like this. we're going to see the straight line. We don't, but there's a straight line here, technically. Think of it that way. And then it starts curving like this again. Right? I will probably have to change all this. Like I say, the most interesting part of these characters is you can just, you can learn their builds and how they're put together and how they work, how they move. Oh, I could have went with Loki too. That would have been a good idea. That would have been far more relevant. I haven't seen it yet, though. We can't get Disney to work. Damn you, Emmy. Last. But yeah, that is kind of one of my favorite parts of doing these characters, like I've spoken about quite a bit, is the interpretation of each artist sort of building up the characters, right? And there's something nice and fun about not knowing them and doing them all the time, just like I'm sure there's a nice aspect of doing them all the time, right? And knowing and being able to even more push their character and boundaries. But there's something fun about learning these different characters and just totally getting out of your comfort zone. Again, if you're used to figures, all of a sudden, like I said, I don't draw mechs or anything like this, mechanical. And now it's a mechanical person, you know what I mean? So it's like the figures there, and I can still sort of use some of that knowledge and shape, but then I have to change everything of how I'm thinking as I put in all these different shapes, right? And build out this robot person that is pretty cool. Just again, practice-wise, it's getting you to think so differently. And you will use that again, right? It's like anything. Can't practice one way, and then just always do the same thing. That's not how we do things. Not how I do things. Thank Club baby. I don't think anybody gets that joke anymore. Is Club Med's not a thing? In like every time I've used it, people don't get it. But yeah, and so we're just doing some loose sketching too. This is not going to be a crazy final finished high color piece. It might be, but yeah, just loose sketching, just nothing crazy here. We're just kind of having fun. We didn't really know what to do for Watercolor Wednesday. We had to make sure this head kicks that way. Means you have to pull out this side, right? This is going to be a sharper angle than this here, ultimately. And then this can be kind of like this. Something like that. Switch! What up, baby? I watched a video of someone playing the new Avatar game we were talking about. Oh. But it's only single player, isn't it? How are you doing today, brother? How'd it look? Dope. It's co-op with friends, but co-op like story, right? I'm listening. Open world, you can follow the story if you choose to. Interesting. Okay, so go on. Was it? Did it look cool? When's it come out? Is it out? I'll mess around on that with you. Trying to get some content, boy. I'm in a weird mood today. Jeez, you want to talk about, like I said, putting a puzzle together? Here you go, gang. That's why we'll see how much detail we get in this, but we're just kind of sketching here. It's a pretty cool, like I said, it's a pretty cool, fun practice piece, that's for sure. If we can make it happen in a couple hours, even more fun, right? Anybody know what suit this is? You know what Iron Man suit this is? You win 3 points. They look dope. Graphics and environment are very similar to the movies. They did well. Interesting. I know it's coming out. I'm getting ready to leave for work, so I stopped the video about a quarter way through. Ooh. You're getting ready to leave. Getting ready to leave work. Okay, I was gonna say. I thought you said. I read it as leave for work, and I was like, I thought you worked much earlier. But it looks good. That's dope. No release date or anything yet. Damn, Daniel. Just constantly trying to get all these shapes, right? Now that I have a basic layout, just trying to fit in these shapes. Because fist right here is actually just has a diamond plate on it, right? So drawing that diamond plate, and then you can go in and break it down into the shapes here. I go like this. They're the same shape, but kind of a different angle here. Goes here, this comes back up. I did not mean for that to be like on the right at the bottom, but that's pretty kind of works. pretty nicely. So now if we go back here, to show that that's rounding around. This comes here, comes out. It might be a little too short. Oh no, that goes there. That's perfect. Because it has to come up like that. Cool. This is where right here. Actually, you know what? Let's bring this up a little more here. Yeah, that's nice. There we go. So see, again, that's a good example of just kind of pushing and pulling that shape, right? It's kind of pushed it up a little bit. That line, just kind of pushing it up. That's the best thing you can start to work on, right? And it's different with different mediums. Oil paint, a little easier to kind of push things around, but it's also difficult because obviously the paper starts to get the paint starts to get very muddy. Charcoal, very easy to continue to push stuff around. Push shapes, always just keep pushing and pulling shapes, right? I've never drawn Iron Man before either, so no judgments. We're always trying something new here. Want that a little closer here. It's okay. Push that up. Push all that up just a little bit. Let's see where this is, because this part's right. Come here. Come here. This part here we like. What we have to do is just fix this curve here. Curve's just a little too intense, you know? And when we realize it, the biggest thing we're going to do is we're going to fix it, right? Right when we realize it. Rather than leave it and come back to it. Because if we leave it, all that other stuff is going to be thrown off, right? All that has to be slightly shifted and moved. And if we leave it and say, oh, it's okay, we'll come back to it. One, you might just forget, in which case is the worst because everything's going to be slightly off. But two, you just won't be able to measure. You won't be able to move on and measure anything. Right, so you have to go in, tweak it, fix it, adjust it accordingly. And I mean, again, this is a fun little opportunity because you can see when things are, it's not like it's, oh, I have to redraw the whole thing. If you catch it now, all I have to do is move the last, what was it? 5 minutes of drawing, maybe. Okay, cool. Fix it up, do it again, right? I mean, if I keep going and now all of this is wrong, this leg comes down too long, this is too long, this is too short, I'm like, oh no, now I have to start the whole piece over. But if and when you see it, you know, being wrong and you fix it, chilling. And that's like I say, that's why I'm always sort of checking all these angles and shapes. Or I'm trying to be constantly checking all the angles and shapes, I should say. This is, if I can find it. Sometimes where I used like to use a kneaded eraser with my charcoal drawings because or pencil, I should say. Because what you can do is just kind of lightly pick everything up, right? Almost lower the opacity. That's what I'm kind of trying to do. So that I can work back over it and still see where I had stuff, but not have it interfere with the actual drawing, right? So you can see how far, again, just slightly that shifted. So there was the original circle. And again, if I measure this leg with that, it's all going to be off, right? Same concept as cutting, measuring twice, cutting once. The art's even more important. Ha, no. I mean, I guess it depends on what you're cutting, right? Love these lo-fi hip-hop beats. I'm happy we found these. Of course, after claiming that I'm not like a lo-fi type, I can't really get into lo-fi, obviously. That's what we're liking. That happen a lot. And now I've been drawing for about an hour. I do have to take a break here, especially because this is a complicated subject, right? And while I am kind of staying loose, right, I want to, you know, close. Feels better. something like that. Let's keep going. Now we got that much close enough here. All right, here we go. Now we're working right up back through. Again, we want to continue working through to keep it all, you know, uniform level of completion throughout the whole process, right? So as we start getting little details here, we want to make sure we're working around through the whole piece and finishing / getting our little details in there as well. And what we should definitely do is finish up the space here. Somewhere like that, I think, right? Because then this comes up here and really gets really nice and curved. This coming here. The eyes are pretty curved, which is interesting. That comes down. So this is all pretty, again, unfortunately, like, has to be very specific, right? Otherwise it starts to just look weird. And I think when we get in here with some pen and ink, it'll look a little bit better, and then we'll probably be able to not blur it out, but show less as more with color and some watercolor here. Maybe. Time will tell. Sound like that way more. It's a much smaller circle than I have there because the top of this is, again, is flat. There. We got about an hour drawing. All right, cool. Kind of not finish this up, but let's try to get through this here. Oh no, I guess we started late actually. It's pretty good. Cool. Raise the puppies. Raise the puppies. So I check height and distance. There you go. It's like an actual. Sometimes I'll literally draw a physical line just like that. And it's just sort of for my own reference, right? Easy enough. Why worry about whether it's exactly what it should be if I have the setup here? I kind of have enough down that I can trust or hope that that's right. See, it's just like a mechanical kneecap, which is wild. What you want to do is draw like that face, right? That plane that's like kind of out there like that. Then I'll bring it back down and I'll work the shapes back into it. But we know it goes like that. And then we just kind of line it up with the shapes here. This goes like that, like that. This comes above here, comes down. Make sure you get that angle down. Need this angle to go down because this has to come back up to show that side. Where is that supposed to be? And it just comes down. This comes like this. Then you have the shape here. Just kind of piecing together shapes here now. And I have to take a peek because now I've been working too long. Some still look good. I don't know why on a day when I have no idea what I'm going to draw, I do like the hardest option. Why not? Oh, that's life. Anything else felt too boring, you know? You're not improving, you're getting worse, right? But I've never said until now. It's true. Hi, Koki. He knows it's my break time. Take a break, man. You're gonna start getting lines wrong. He knows. Alright, we're gonna try to just finish this drawing today. We'll see what happens. Looking at it. I thought. Alright. 5-minute break here, gang. Right now. Alright, cool. Around. Alright, quick 5-minute break, and we will return. We'll probably start inking so that we can try to get a little color in. and we'll take a peek. We'll continue to proportion, push angles, push our shapes, and maybe put some ink and color into this. We'll see. But so far, we're just sketching out Iron Man on nice little Iron Man Wednesday, I guess we'll call it. Whatever. Hit that like, hit that sub, hit that follow button, and while you're down there, hit that share and send this video to a friend. Invite them to our community. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Appreciate the love, gang. All right. So let's see what we can do here, shall we? Lighten this up a little, 'cause it's standing out. Has to come in a little. Let's see the head. Back thing. That right above his eye, yeah. It's there. Mouth comes right here. Yep. Perfect. Is just, I think it's a little too defined here, that's all. Still comes in here. See, he does have that little, like, the eye slot like continues right around on the helmet, which is interesting. It's kind of all we're gonna probably do for the helmet here. As you can tell, you could obviously spend hours on Iron Man's, like, just to get all the mechanical parts of his suit, right? Are you leaving? We're gonna leave that something like that and just kind of call it complete there. I don't mind that. 'Cause again, I'm gonna try to be loose with the marks here. And simplify a lot. This is again modern. But what we would like to do is kind of simplify it, right? To our style, our sort of Iron Man, right? Why not? I don't know if we can do that in the time span here, but we're gonna try. Right there, yeah. Cool. Horizontal across. See, my brain and our brain and people's brains really want this line to be up, but because of the angle, it's just coming straight across. Let's come back up here and do this. Okay, with that being the chest plate there, that looks good. Has to come in here though, yeah. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I like that. I like that. The issue that's gonna arise is if this back arm is just too big. Because it's going back into space. So I don't, we'll see. I'm gonna sketch the whole thing out final right now. Oh, actually, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna fix this real quick. Because we saw that this is just not quite right here. through to move that way in here. It's okay. Come down here. This. Go up a little. I feel like these are the same songs, right? See, I had the right heights and the right marks. They're just I stretched it a little too long, right? All right. That's gonna happen. You can see in some cases I'm actually just copying what I have. Right? And again, because it's nothing, it's the same measurements, it's just a little too stretched. It's just kind of in the wrong location more than anything. You can't always get away with that. But in some cases, again, depending on how you're working through the piece, right? And how you're measuring it out, you very much can. Because this also has to be here now. Hold on. This goes like this. This triangle's right here. There we go. Now there's just actually like a square here. Now it has to come up to the bottom of this triangle. Right? And now it goes, almost gives me like a straight line across, just at the angle, which is unfortunate, but it's gonna happen. Just because of the angle, sometimes you're gonna have two angles that, perspective-wise, they're just gonna go straight, right? So you're gonna have to show that in a little different way, get creative. Let's see, this goes here. Yeah, Epidemic Sounds lo-fi hip-hop is where it's at. And the way I'm doing is kind of hard to follow sometimes. So again, that's why I don't really recommend doing it. And that's sometimes why I'll go like this a little more. Here, I'll do it so it's not as confusing. Because I'm kind of just I'm moving all the lines over, and mentally I'm seeing what I have, and kind of adjusting it half through that. But I should be just kind of just redrawing it. And the way I had the angles lined up, it's all kind of just moving one like place over, which is interesting. It's kind of fun, obviously. Closer, which works. I see. Shoot. Okay. All those angles have to kick back. These might be funny. Oh no, they have to come in more. That's perfect. That was coconut. That's better. Kind of works. Working for me. It's working. There we go. That all had to come in. See, sometimes that, like I said, our brain wants these things straight. They have to come back in. Those angles are everything. It's crazy. And our brain just wants them to be wrong. Why is it working against us? Not literally, but it kind of is, right? So it's important to stay taking breaks, stay focused, and keep measuring and checking your angles and placements and everything, right? See, the drawing part is just time. It's just time, right? And it's always kind of a different amount of time because sometimes it all pieces together. Other times you're fighting the whole drawing. And there's no rhyme or reason, right, as to how or why. It's just sort of our focus level, our time, everything. But that's part of the fun. That's part of the joy. That's why it's always a new piece. That's why artists can do the same subject matter, the same piece over and over and over, and it will change every time, right? not necessarily change, but it can be very different each and every time. All right, let's keep going through this arm here. I don't think it can be much bigger than that right there. Little sneeze. His hand's still a little too big. Trying to mimic that shape right that I'm seeing here. And size-wise, mimic again. Our brain fixes all it. Foreshortening is difficult because our brain sees it correctly. It just fixes it and says, no, nothing's wrong with that. That's why when we draw it, it gets so difficult. Because we can't really draw. Well, you have to start drawing how you just see the shapes, but the issue is that our brain tells us that something's so long, and if we start looking at it, it looks long, our brain's like, no, that's just receding into space. The issue is then you draw it and you draw it very long and it's like, ooh, that looks wrong. So our brain's always playing tricks on us. He has these big gloves which make his hands look funny. So they look so stumpy. But they do. I made this too short. I think I had it correct the first time and then kind of shrunk it here. Kind of want it like right in between. That's better. Down, back out. To say the start of that was like the YouTube, if anybody does YouTube Red Zone. For YouTube, I guess it's like NFL Direct. I don't know what it is now, but I watch my NFL games on YouTube because I'm out of zone with the Patriots. So I'm constantly watching YouTube, and they have like a enjoy this Zen moment, which is pretty cool. But it's like kind of birds and stuff. I thought that's totally what was about to happen with this song, which is funny. All right, so it looks like we have a drawing here at least. And we'll be able to ink it out at least, which is nice, right? Much better. Did we talk about the cool part is that actually changes this now too, right? So we have to make sure to fix this. Yeah, nice. Nice that looks. Yo. Kind of curves in right around there. Kneecap. Thing. There. What do we got? 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. All right, cool. Sometimes when you go like work from 2 different directions and it meets up, it's wild when you're sitting there and you're like, there's no way these are the right shapes, but you've just done the right shapes, you know what I mean? You've trusted your whole mark making and all the shapes start to just match up and it's like, oh cool. It's just kind of like confirmation, like, all right, cool. All those shapes that I've put in are in fact correct, right? I mean, pretty nice. Where we think we're at. I think we're gonna take a 5 here, come back, finish this up. So we're gonna take let's see here. All right, cool. All right, perfect. All right, perfect. Music stopped. That means it's time for a new playlist and a 5-minute break. So let's go like this here. What's? Where is popular tracks and a bing bong? All right, enjoy the tunes. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We'll be back in 5 minutes, gang. Appreciate the love. Let's do it. All right. Trying some new pens today. Tombos. Just trying. I just got these today. So I'm just making a couple scratch marks, test marks, you know, seeing what I can and can't do with it. Never know. It's actually a really nice pen. That was the brush pen, huh? Interesting. You can get some really nice grays with this, huh? In between. I like the brush pen a lot. I almost like the brush pen more. Which is interesting. I mean, it's barely a brush pen, but it has a really nice feel. So I go through with this one first. Maybe. Because then I can always go through and really darken it up with this. I don't know which pen to use. Alright, let's use this one to start. Alright, let's see. Might as well add in a few more marks here. Let's do it. We're actually gonna start like right around here. Yeah, I'm gonna start right up here. Wow, what a jam here. What are those little circles? I've never noticed those on his head. That's weird. Maybe I have, and I don't know. They look like screws, but I kind of feel like there's like a symbol almost. Jeez, that almost scared the shit out of me. What was I watching? This is way too loud. It was sometime during Halloween. I can't remember what it was. I was just in the studio watching something and it had like a jump scare and I literally like, and I fully messed up my drawing. I was like, oh, well, maybe that's not going to work. I feel like this has been in every like video game ever. It's too intense for right now, sorry. Oh, not Halloween. sit like that to get a nice even angle. You can see my hand sort of comes across, and I can get that nice. It's easier for me than like this. It's just easier for me to go here than have my wrist sort of out. A lot of people will just turn the paper. With this paper in my workspace, it's not as easy, so I kind of move myself. I don't know if that's good or bad, to be honest, but it's what happens, so. What are you gonna do, right? See, I'm always continuing to check my drawing and add in shapes. Again, some shapes are just, you leave them out with your pencil, right? And when you're at this stage with pen, it's kind of time to get all those little shapes in. So you're looking at it a little bit more in depth, right? For finishing marks. And seeing maybe what you can put in to really clean it up. And almost simplify it, right? At this point too. And I'm always continuing to check, to measure, to check my angles, proportions. Because again, you saw in the beginning of this, we've kind of moved a lot of shapes around, right? And as we keep saying, the best thing we can do is catch mistakes before, you know, they are catastrophic. Not that there's any mistake that's catastrophic, but that, again, is necessarily not that fixable towards the end of the piece, right? We had one mistake earlier that we drew for about 5-10 minutes. We realized it and we fixed it in, again, about 5-10 minutes. So we didn't really lose time, you know what I mean? That's as much as sketching. But what can happen is sometimes you don't check it, or sometimes you notice it's off and say, I'll fix it later. And that's when you get yourself into trouble, because you don't realize how much you might measure off of that wrong shape, wrong measurement, wrong angle, and the next thing you know, your whole drawing's off, right? you can see how different I had to make that. I had to fix it. And again, that just comes from making my corrections and checking the whole way through the piece. There is no other way to create. That is drawing, right? Sketching, fixing, moving. Obviously, the better artists tend to make less mistakes, but also not true. Not always true, right? Some of them just continue to fix all of their mistakes. So you'll never even know. There are artists that take 3 hours to do paintings, 3 months to do paintings, and some take 3 years. I mean, perfect. Just keep trying to check and watch OBS because it cut out on me the other day. It shouldn't be doing that. Is it frozen right now? No. I was gonna say it looks frozen over here. I was like, nah. That better not be a thing. All right, let's get back to it. Sorry. Beautiful. Just keep on going right through here. Yeah, so see, the last thing I'm doing at this point is simply tracing my marks that I have, right? I am looking at a lot of them and measuring and again making sure they're still correct. Adding marks where I need to, like I've mentioned. And that just comes from continuing to continual observation, right? So I'm continuing to study and look at the shapes, check my angles. And also trying to make sure I add that sort of like mech feel where we talked about a robot, you know what I mean? So it's like, again, not quite all smooth and even pieces, right? It gets really organic. I mean, inorganic, really structural. This pen's really nice. I'm happy I chose to try it. Using the Tombow. Not even gonna try to say it, but not even gonna try to say that. But it is the Tombow brush pen, not like a liner. All right, I'll try Fujinosuke. Might not have been as bad as I thought, but probably was, right? Let's be real. These like just instrumentals now? Christmas tunes. It's not a Christmas song though, but it feels it. What I am gonna make sure of is I'm definitely gonna go back through and pull this all forward with nice bold darks like that, right? Biggest thing again, it's values. The biggest thing I was just about to say I have to continue to improve on in my drawings like this. And it's just using values and like that line thickness to bring that forward. Why is this a song in here, dude? We have not gotten this today because we do like this jam. Kind of want the focus to be right in through here, right? And this looks super dark, but that's because there's nothing behind it right now, right? So superhero landing coming up. I was looking for the Deadpool of that, but I couldn't find it, which is wild. So, spoiler alert. This is a good jam too. I do like this as a beat. Starting to learn some of these. Starting to learn some of these. I mean, I guess I have now, so. Guess I do. Say, should I do like some cross hatching? But I guess I am now. Problem is, it can't just be in the back there. It will have to be up front too. Oh, that got too dark. Better. checking my values, and I guess cross-hatching became the thing. Why is it like focusing like that? Is that better? Oh, why is it doing that? Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna continue. Sorry, gang. I don't know why that was focusing like that. Better not be focusing and breaking. I'm kind of trying to contour a little, and then in other places I'm going against it to kind of just move your eye around, right? Keeps cross-hatching interesting. Little different stream today, that's for sure. But we really like what we came out with. So that's pretty fun. Just a little scribble. So yeah, I just want to make sure that goes back. Right? I like how that's looking. That all kind of gets blocked off here. Yeah. And we figured with the marker we would kind of go for not an old school comic sketch, but a very scratchy, right? Like stylized comic sketch for sure. Even though this is a very new Iron Man suit. This is a what? Iron Man Mach 4, I think? I kind of wanted to again enjoy the challenge of trying to make this a little different, right? Instead of just copying you know, the movie image. Let's have some fun with it, right? And that's kind of why the cross hatching, it might be fun. Won't know until we do it, right? Those kind of look like marks, but they're not. That looks better. So I was gonna leave the face completely unmarked so that it would just hold focus, but I think this is better. Maybe not. Might have lost it there. I can't even. Okay, cool. All right, it is time actually. No water, no mistakes. I don't like the marks I made here. They're too distracting. They're just too messy marks, and they're like some of the messiest marks on the piece, unfortunately. So it might show a little, but you know. Always keep adding highlights. That is the fun of drawing, painting, and just artwork. That sometimes, not sometimes, but recently I've been working darker so that I can pull lights back out, right? It just kind of adds to the piece. Adds to the piece like visually very much because all the highlights pop. Whereas here I'm kind of just fixing marks necessarily. I am adding highlights. But because we don't have a ton of color or shading in the piece, it only looks so much like highlights, right? That looks better on his face than it did, so that's nice. I'm kind of just getting rid of some of those lines. Our brain will fill it in. Our brain knows what should be there. But what it's going to do is help push it back. Right? Versus it feeling like it's missing. Because I'm kind of doing is just lightening up the lines and then removing them. Kind of using like broken lines, right? There's also a great way to show lighting sort of bouncing around different edges. I should have left the face just without the marks. It's okay. Always a learning curve. Always a learning process. That said, this is a really fun piece here, actually. Cool. Really, really nice for a quick couple hour sketch here. I don't know where my water cup went. That. Obviously, that's the easy fix. Let's just take the any questions away from what where everything is placed in relation, like order, right? Front, back, foreground, midground, background. go. See, now I could come through with obviously different markers. Which we might finish with markers, to be honest. But not today. We are, must be overtime. Yeah. Much more subtle, cool gray to bring everything together here. Because the cool gray can kind of go on this part, like all around, and it's not gonna feel like it's getting too dark. That neutral gray can be quick to, I don't know, get really dark on you. So you can see how the marker picks up some of the ink from below. That's just going to happen because it's an alcohol marker. I'm sure there's some pens, even a dip pen or something. That probably doesn't leak as much, but it's okay. It's all good. Not leak, bleed. It doesn't bleed as much. I like these blue grays a lot. They just have a nice tone to them, a really nice like color. Just feels very usable. Oh. Last mark, of course. And of course, the dogs are going nuts. water for this. Right, that is where we have to wrap it up here, gang. Sorry, we kind of liked that look of that blue. So we wanted to continue just taking it a little further here. All right, that is what we like to see here. Sure. Cool. 3 white marks here, and then we're done. Let's see. Dunzo. That's what we're calling it. Oh, perfect timing, actually, because I forgot we started a little late, too. That's beautiful. That is brilliant, people. Love that. So we're going to wrap it up, baby. Pencils down, boy. All right. That is not a Watercolor Wednesday, but it's a very fun sketch Wednesday, I think, right? I think it came out fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. I always have fun drawing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the change in content. Watercolor Wednesday is obviously usually going to be watercolor, but along with that, it's kind of like a mixed medium day, right? Because it goes together with so many other things. So we do a lot of stuff these days, and because we didn't necessarily have a watercolor today, it's going to happen. These sessions are very much just sort of like an open studio is what I try to have them be, at least. I like them to be entertaining, of course, but I don't necessarily try to do like specific art for them. I just kind of do what I want to do, and if it's a watercolor, which I've tried to set up for Watercolor Wednesday, it would make it work, but this is not a watercolor. So yeah, perfect. As we're gonna wrap it up, baby, that looks nice. That is a fun piece where we wanted to end up. That's where we wanted to look, and we might go back in with a little bit more here, and possibly that's it. But we can't today because we do have to go feed the little guys, and that's the stream. We hit our 3 hours. We started late, but it was perfect. Start to finish drawing right here, which is nice. We usually don't do those. We usually have them prepped. And or just kind of sketch, but it's a pretty nice little piece here. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. Hopefully you liked it, you had a good time, and you know, be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and follow down below. While you're there, hit that share button, send this video to a friend, invite them to our awesome community. We'll be back for Figure Friday, 1 o'clock on Friday. Who knows what we'll be doing. But until then, enjoy your Wednesday, enjoy your week, and most importantly, stay healthy, stay happy. Much love, gang. Appreciate you guys.